The member for Leichhardt.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr Speaker. My question is, constituency question is to the Treasurer. Can the Treasurer outline how the government is working to promote jobs for Australian workers in areas of high youth unemployment such as Leichhardt, which is one of the highest youth unemployment rates in the country at more than 27%? Can the Treasurer advise of any alternative plans which puts foreign workers as a competitive advantage in the Australian labour market?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Leichhardt for his question. He knows what it's like to get a job when he's young and doing whatever job he can get himself into to start life. His first job, he tells me, was cleaning the bathrooms at the local train station as a 15-year-old, Mr Speaker. And we know that Australians across this country want to work. They want to work more, and we know that young people want to be in jobs and they want to go and get those jobs, Mr Speaker. That's why in the budget this year we announced our $850 million Youth Employment Path program, which will get underway next year, which is about getting longer-term young unemployed people into work where they can choose a future which is completely different to being dependent on a life of welfare. But they need the opportunities, Mr Speaker, particularly in regional areas, and that's why it comes at some great surprise to me that while the Leader of the Opposition goes around beating its chest about how much he wants to support Australian workers, but at the same time wants to offer a big fat tax cut to foreign workers, Mr Speaker. People coming on 417 visas. He wants to cut their tax from 32.5 cents all the way down to 10.5 cents, Mr Speaker. Now, on this side of the House, we have put forward a sensible, practical proposal, 19 cents in the dollar, which ensures that backpackers who come to Australia take home and put in their pocket what they'd get if they were working in Canada or New Zealand or the United Kingdom. Not good enough for this mob. Not good enough for this mob. They want to give foreign workers a tax advantage to go and pick fruit over young Australians who could go and do that work, Mr Speaker. They want to incentivise employers in regional Australia by giving foreign workers a tax cut and for them to pay less tax than an Australian would in the same circumstances, Mr Speaker. When it comes to foreign workers, we've had the Leader of the Opposition beating his chest about 457s, but he was the gold medal standard in issuing 457s when he was responsible, Mr Speaker. This is the party of Mr McTiernan, who was on a 457 when he worked for Julia Gillard, for goodness sake, Mr Speaker. Apparently there weren't enough media professionals in this country who could provide the former government with media advice. We had to get someone out on a 457, Mr Speaker. And then there are the unions who were employing 457 workers hand over a fist, which was exposed by the Minister for Employment. This Leader of the Opposition, when it comes to talking about us supporting Australian workers, you need to look no further than the big fat tax cut he wants to ensure foreign workers get by reducing their tax rate from 32.5 cents all the way down to 10.5 cents. Now, this issue needs to be resolved, Mr Speaker, and I am confident that we'll be able to come to an arrangement with those in the other place, Mr Speaker, who are keen to see this issue resolved. But what those opposite have done is do nothing more than their usual cynical playing of politics with the jobs of young Australians.